What's going on? What's going on? We are back. Danny Garcia, Earl Spence. Coming up, man, just in about 2 weeks or so. And we're going to see what's going on with both of them. They had a media workouts this week. And, we saw Danny. Danny looked in shape. You know what I mean? Danny looks like Danny always looks. Danny's always in shape. He's most of the time in shape, even during the off season, even before he goes into camp or anything like that. And he looked good physically. Physically, he looked good. He obviously has been running, he's been working in the gym, doing everything that he needs to do to get ready for this fight. And he looked like he was ready to go. Now, what he showed us, that's a whole different thing, What he showed us when it came to his workout, he looked like complete dog-ish. That boy looked like complete trash. He looked like the Grinch. Went to his house, snuck into his house, took away all his fast twitch muscles, and dipped. Got out of there, shoo, with all his fast twitch muscles. He looked like trash. He looked slow as hell. He looked sluggish. He looked super stiff. Like, he looked like complete garbage. Like, if Kell Brooks looked the way that he looked in this training thing, we would have said that, he's getting killed. He's getting, there was nothing that was impressive. There was nothing that would have made you say, wow, this guy's going to do it. Anything like that. But anybody that knows boxing knows it was all bullshit too at the same time. It was just a situation where I think they were like, we're not showing him nothing. We have to do this stupid ass media workout, so we're just gonna go in there. We're gonna make this a super light session. We're gonna throw a couple of BS punches, stuff like that, but we're not showing anything at all. It seemed as if that's what the whole mentality was when it came to this camp, because you're not just going from here to here like this, especially at that age. He's young. He's taking no kind of real major damage. He looked straight in this fight. In this last fight, he looked good. So no one's buying that, because we were like, maybe he's trying to trick Earl Spence into thinking that, he's not the same or something like that. No, Earl Spence is not going to fall for that, any more than the Danny Garcia camp is not going to fall into the trap of thinking that Earl Spence is not going to be the same, and that's going to be the reason why they're going to be able to beat him. They're going to be focused, and they're going to be training to meet the absolute best Earl Spence have ever seen in their whole lives, that anybody's ever seen in their entire lives. That's the Earl Spence that they're training for. That's the Earl Spence that they're focused on, and they expect to be in that ring, come fight night. So they know that. So this whole being able to, trick people, no. And, Earl Spence, his camp, they're not dumb. They're going to look at that thing and laugh. Like, what the F was the point of that? Like, really, what was the point of that? What was the point of that? That's what they're going to be thinking. They're going to be laughing about it, joking about it, but understanding is a complete BS. They're not going to be sitting there, oh man, we're going to run through this, boy. Oh, man. No, absolutely not. Sometimes people really want to keep everything close to close to them. And they don't want to put anything at all out. And that's the mindset that they're in. So I expect to see the best Danny Garcia we've ever seen come fight night. Period. And that boy been training. And anybody dumb, everybody knows that boy's been doing nothing but training his tail off. Now as far as the only issue and that I'm thinking might come up when it comes to him is just the fact that I still remember that Zab Judah fight. I remember all the issues and problems he had in that fight against a southpaw in a way lesser weight class against a way, lesser fighter, I guess you could say, than what he's going to be facing on fight night. That's the only thing. Is like, if he's still susceptible, I'm doing my Timothy Bradley right now. Ramirez. Yeah, I'm on my Tim Bradley right now. But, if he's still susceptible to those same punches and still those same angles are still open in this fight, then he's gonna have problems, man. Because he's gonna get hit with some heavy shots. But that was so long ago. I think he will have made the adjustments, and I think by now he'd be ready for anything of that nature that might come around, against any southpaws. I think he'll be smart enough and he'll be ready for that. He's a more seasoned fighter at this point in his career, So we'll see, if that's the case or not when it comes to him. That's the only thing I really can think of when it comes to him. If not for that, it's going to be a tough fight. Regardless of what anybody else wants to say, it's going to be a tough fight. Danny Garcia has never been an easy out for anybody. And I don't think that's going to change, come December 5th. Now, Earl Spence was looking good, man. Earl Spence was looking good. Earl Spence was looking healthy. He was looking strong. People had this thing where they were talking about how, he's looking skinny, he's looking thin, maybe he's too thin, maybe he's overtraining. I don't think it's a situation where he's overtraining. I think people are just not used to seeing the man in shape. The dude, people are not used to seeing him like in shape, especially that far, early, from months ago, it being months before a fight, and the guy's in shape. You're going to have, when you're actually living a fighter's life, when you're actually keeping your weight down the way you're supposed to, your nutrition's on point, you're putting in all that extra work, yeah, you're going to look different. You're not going to necessarily look the same. It's different than when you're trying to squeeze down into weight, when squeeze down into weight. Look at even Gervonta Tank Davis when he works with Cunningham. When Gervonta Tank Davis works with Cunningham, he looks completely different. His weigh-ins, everything, his body physiologically looks different. Because he's just not crunching down, trying to make weight. It's like a smooth, clean, easy-ass process. Earl Spence just made sure he was pretty much on weight months ago. But he's still running, he's still boxing, he's still doing everything he's supposed to do. He still has that power, he still got that speed. He has ridiculous stamina. That was one of the things that I saw when him hitting that bag, man, with all his might. You could see that power was still there. That was number one. Number two, that stamina. He didn't start breathing hard. None of that stuff. He was just even kill the whole time he was doing it, until Derek was like, all right. Stop. Let's go up into the ring. He looked good. And when he was standing next to Derek James, he didn't look small to me when he was in that ring. I was like, I want to see why he looks like when he's in that ring. What does he look like when he's in the ring? When he was in the ring, he didn't look small. And like he said, he wasn't dried out like he usually is. Because he's trying to kill himself to make weight. Nah, he was sweating everything because he came down good. He's been able to focus and work on his game plan, not just try to focus and work on losing all this weight. Because he's been close. When you're closer to that weight, your strength and everything is going to be completely different too. When you're cutting down, even when you're cutting down in general, even if you're doing like a bodybuilding competition, you start really, really high and you have to cut down 30, 40 pounds. The way you feel by the time you get to your, to your stage weight, it's completely different than when you're, let's say you only have 10 pounds or you're only 10, 15 pounds away. And that's all you have to lose. You're eating more food, believe it or not. The cut is way easier, and you're a lot stronger, believe it or not, at the end of your cut than when you're coming up from 45 pounds or whatever it is coming down. And once your weight, your calories and everything go up, yeah, your strength will come back. You'll get stronger again over time, but you ain't going to be as strong as you are by the next day. So physical strength-wise and everything, believe it or not, Earl Spence might be in a whole better situation than he usually is come on fight night. I think the only question when it comes to him is mentally, where is he going to be at when he's actually in a real boxing match, not just sparring? And what is his punch resistance going to be? I guess they'll probably already know that by him being in the gym and him, sparring, I guess. But, you sparring and you going up against a grade A top tier opponent and being hit are two different things. But again, he's probably in there sparring against Charlo though. So if he's sparring in there against Charlo, he's been hit with shots against Charlo, they should pretty much believe that he's fine. I forgot that he trains with Charlo. I don't know why I forgot, but I completely forgot that he trains against Charlo on a regular basis. So if he's been doing that and he's been able to take those shots, I don't care if they're with 30-pound gloves. You taking shots against Charlo with 30-pound gloves, man, 30-ounce gloves. Yeah, you good. And you can take those with pillows. I don't care if he's wrapped pillows around his hands. If you can take shots from him when he has pillows wrapped around his hands, you're good. So it should be fine. But that's my only question is because of the act, because of what happened to him. What's his mentality going to be once he's in there in the real environment, real fight? People can say whatever they want. You never know. I'm not going to know because I'm not in that gym with them every day. So you don't necessarily know what's going on in there. You know what I mean? So, but we'll know come fight night. But I expect a good fight to happen. I think both of them look great. I think they both looked in shape, ready to go. And we'll see what happens come fight night. But for now, like, subscribe, share. I'm out.